uptake of electricity. Number two, Mr. Speaker, there is something called capacity charge. And this is why, if you look at the legislative amendment, and when I'm moving that bill, I will explain a bit more, there is a charge for just about every person or every entity that has signed an agreement with Kenya Power, whether those people are selling power to Kenya Power or not. Because this capacity charge is exactly what it says it is. It is for their ability to supply that capacity, that yes, it is there. Even when you are not utilizing it, we have expended resources. You've been told about the loans in this sector being denominated largely in foreign currency. So they have provided that capacity and we have all to pay. Mr. Speaker, if you add just one IPP to the grid today through a power purchase agreement, you will see the cost of electricity going up because of that capacity charge, that you have added extra capacity whether Kenyans are buying power from that particular plant or not. Mr. Speaker, then there is the question of transparency in the purchase of electricity from all these IPPs. As you've been told, a bulk of our production, a bulk of the electricity we produce is from green sources. Those green sources are actually cheaper sources. But at the point of the decision making, when the gentleman called the dispatcher or the lady at Kenya Power is sitting there and he has view of all the power producers in the country, and he says, now I'm going to put Triumph Power online, I'm going to switch off the geothermals, I'm going to put on Lake Turkana wind power. At that particular moment in time, Mr. Speaker, the decision has to be made to avail electricity that is the cheapest to the consumer. Now, that doesn't always happen. We had a conversation with a gentleman from Lake Turkana wind power. Mr. Speaker, would you know that the contract, the IPP, the PPA, the power purchase agreement between Kenya Power and Lake Turkana wind power actually provides for a discount of 50% of the cost of electricity from Lake Turkana wind power if a certain threshold is hit. They sat us in this chamber and they told us that in fact Kenya Power has never utilized that discount that is available for them. In fact, they have said that on many occasions they are curtailed, which is to be told, reduce your production, reduce the amount of power that you're putting onto the grid, because they want to give preference to the expensive thermal sources, which they claim are more stable. These players in this sector, Mr. Speaker, if you speak to them, they will tell you that these stories that you hear from Kenya Power about base load and intermittent suppliers of electricity are all part of a scheme to make sure that Kenyans do not benefit from the cheapest available electricity. So you will see when the bill comes before this House, Mr. Speaker, that we have tried to tie the hands of the dispatcher, that in dispatching electricity, priority must be given to the cheapest sources of electricity, such as Lake Turkana wind power.